charge. Now, some more news. Did you notice that Antifa protested in D.C.? I have to say that the D.C. police failed horribly in that situation. Now, I want to be clear in my thoughts here. The D.C. police officers were certainly under the orders of their bosses to handle things the way they did. So the actual police officers on the street, as far as I can tell, did an amazing job. Did a really, really good job. I want to be clear about that. The actual officers who were on the street, I mean, they looked like they really, really did a good job of containing it, given the rules that they had to work with. But here's the problem. They were working with the wrong rules. Apparently there is a law that says you can't wear a mask in public the way the Antifa people were. Apparently the police had decided at a higher level, I'm just speculating here based on what we've seen, that they didn't want to cause trouble by unmasking them. That might have been too much of a provocation, could have caused trouble. I believe that that is incorrect. I believe they only had to unmask a few on camera. You don't have to unmask them all. You only have to unmask a few. Because if every time you go to an Antifa deal, the police say, look, there are 50 of you wearing masks, but you two come over here. And they just unmask them. You wouldn't have to unmask them all. Because the next time, people are going to say, 2 out of 50, that's starting to get dangerous. 0 out of 50 unmasked is not dangerous. 2 out of 50 caught on camera, well, that's a little bit dangerous, all right? So where the DC police completely failed, and I'm going to say just the management, again, the actual people on the streets, great job. I think everybody would agree with that, right? When you say great job, given the rules that they were working with. But I think the bosses need to change the instructions. I think they need to say, police, take off a few masks, just a few. Make sure it's polite, make sure it's civilized, and just unmask a few people. And we'll just take it from there. All right. I have a theory that when Antifa was first making noise, especially around election time in 2016, that they were probably helping the Democrats. In other words, they were amplifying a message that the Democrats wanted to amplify, which is President Trump or candidate Trump is an evil, terrible guy. But it seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, does it not feel at this point that every time Antifa goes to the streets, they make Democrats look less legitimate? It seems to me that every time they show up and the other side doesn't respond violently, they're absolutely shooting their team in the foot. Now, if they could provoke the Proud Boys or conservatives or Republicans or Trump supporters, whoever, if they could provoke anybody to fight back, well, they might win. That might be a winning strategy. But so far, they're not getting much fight back. And when they do, it's clearly legitimate. So it looks to me that Antifa is now the Achilles heel of the Democrats. Antifa is their accessory. Antifa is their earrings. Antifa is the car they have to drive. When you think of the Democrats, you can't think of them anymore without seeing these masked men in masks beating people over the head. They have become the Democrats' brand because the Democrats have not been sufficiently, let's say, out front in condemning